binanggit niyo ho kanina yung relevance, and if I recall it right, last week, the good gentleman, Attorney Poa, made mention about the questions on confidentiality, sir, no? And this representation would like to better understand the legal basis of the defense position on confidentiality. We recognize that the law places a premium on protecting confidential information. At the same time, we are also dealing with a request made in the course of a constitutional proceeding before this impeachment court. At bilang mga senator judges, it's our constitutional duty to try and decide on impeachment cases. Mr. Defense Counsel, yung Section 8-A of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, binanggit niyo po ito last time, which prohibits the disclosure of confidential information. How should this apply to records sought through a subpoena issued by the impeachment court? Because as I read, Your Honor, Section 8-A, it imposes confidentiality, but it does not expressly create an absolute privilege against the subpoena. There is a distinction between an authorized disclosure and production pursuant to a lawful order of a constitutional body. So, again, my question, Your Honor, where exactly in Section 8A does it say that AMLA, AMLC, may refuse a lawful subpoena from this court, Your Honor?
Thank you for that question, Your Honor. Unang-una, sagutin ko lang po yung pretense ng inyong tanong. No? Sabi nyo, this is a constitutional body, hindi po ba? And as we all know, there is an old legal maxim that the spring cannot rise over the source. No? Ibig sabihin po nun, while the impeachment court is a constitutional creation, it cannot go up over and above the Constitution itself. And when we talk about the impeachment court under Article 11, we cannot read that in isolation. We have to also give due regard for all other provisions of the Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights, kung saan due process, no, ay isang bagay na nakatatak po doon at pinapakita doon, ano bang ibig sabihin ng due process? Due process is, kasama po sa kalakip ng due process, ay ang bawat na nasasakdal ay meron ding pribilehiyo na maging maprotect o maproteksyonan ng mga batas na isinagawa ng mismong Kongreso. So now let's go on to Section 8A. No? As you can see, Your Honor, that is at least for our position, it's an absolute prohibition. Unlike other laws where they created, for example, in the bank secrecy law, meron nakasulat doon, aaminin natin, in cases of impeachment is an exception. Pagdating po dyan, wala po ni isang exception. It could have been easy, especially since this is a 2021 amendment. No? It could have been easy for Congress to have cited impeachment as an exception if it did actually wish to do so. But it did not, Your Honor. And it is our position that if we were to compel and issue a subpoena against these AMLAC records, we're actually compelling the officials, no, to violate this very section of the law. And that is why we are saying na pagdating sa 8A, absolute po yan. It does not say, no, that there's any exception if any court processes are actually issued to compel the production of these documents. Precisely because ang nasa loob po kasi ng mga records ng AMLAC are intelligence, no? And that's why it's confidential. And once AMLAC determines that they find out that certain transactions are subject to money laundering or should be actually filed in court, the end result is the complaint itself and not the raw data. And that is why, Your Honors, as to the raw data or the information that they receive, yan po ay strictly confidential under 8A.